Judith Chalmers, a treasure in TV travel. Yes, welcome to Mark and Pete. Sad news this week, but Judith Chalmers was really someone who transformed the televising of travel. Welcome to Mark and Pete, two blokes with half an opinion. Now, here's our first thought.
Life's mortal journey. Life is designed to tour and explore, to check into places which are far and near. And when you eventually check out, we're sad and still wish you were here. Yes, sad news it is that Judith Chalmers at the age of 90 has passed away. Now, what's significant about Judith Chalmers is that she pioneered the show Wish You Were Here. And what was interesting about this is that unlike shows at the time where she joined the program in 1974 through to 2003, she had a way of engaging the audience. Rather than being suited and booted and behind a dry brown desk, she actually looked like she was on holiday. More importantly, not only was it entertaining, it was informative. Well, Mr. Pete, it's sad news about Judith. She was a pioneer in travel. But what's interesting about all of this, our whole idea of travel seems to have changed. First of all, what did you think about Judith Chalmers as a presenter?
I thought that she was very engaging. She was always seemed to be very cheerful and had that ability to light up the screen. I mean, I wasn't a big fan. I did find her slightly false in the way that she came across. She seemed a little bit too upbeat. Maybe that's just the natural English cynicism in me. But she was certainly a very effective broadcaster. And she seemed like she was having a good time, so it did draw you in.
Yes. Well, what's interesting, as a broadcaster, she also did shows such as Come Dancing, ITV's Good Afternoon. She also had BBC radio programs, including Woman's Hour and her own Radio 2 show. I think as a broadcaster, what I think we really take away from this is she came across naturally. That's my feeling. I mean, I know that you may say that it was probably seemed false, but I always felt that it's the fact that she, unlike some of the TV presenters in the 1970s when she first came to do the travel show, I just thought, yes, this is a person who really does embrace the holiday, and you got a little bit more insight. It wasn't just about the facts and figures of a particular venue. It seemed as though she was enjoying herself, and I think that's the key. And you sort of almost inspired by thinking, yes, I will go to Tenerife, or I will go to Bognor Regis. Or wherever it was. I mean, I know that not everybody maybe sort of felt the same way, but I did think that, yes, maybe this could have influenced the tourist industry. Now, the funny thing is that she actually went to the small screen originally in the 1950s. That's where she actually started her career as a children's presenter, and she actually came in. This is like a forerunner to the Blue Peter show. So for many of our international sort of listeners, the Blue Peter program is very much like the champion of TV shows for children.
Yes.
But yes. I think what I like about the fact that Judith came on, and this is something that we almost take for granted today, she came across as somebody who wasn't sort of po-faced, because she came from a place called Gately in Manchester. Now, most people will say, well, yes, that sounds fine, that's reasonable. But what you've got to remember is when she went into broadcasting, her accent wasn't as received as some of those people who were on the TV. And so the local regional accent meant that she came across more naturally. And I think that in itself is worth noting.
Yes, it was quite striking. It was, of course, she wasn't a solo presenter. She often would have someone with her who was rather a straight-laced man in a brown suit, as you say. And so the contrast with her was quite striking. You could see that there was something different about her, and hence her long-lived career. But her success with the holiday program was, of course, coincided with package holidays becoming so successful, didn't it? And so there was something to particularly talk about. There was a particular product which you could refer to. So that lent that particular change, and the popularity of it in travel lent to her success. Although, I mean, some of the places you traditionally go or travel to now, with package holidays still being popular, becoming very expensive, and some of them quite dangerous.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, I wouldn't advocate for those type of things, but yes, you're right. That's true. I mean, when I do think about the idea of going on holiday, what you've also got to remember is another factor. Because in the 1970s, you might see a pattern here, folks, but the economy wasn't that great until the package tour holidays did sort of come towards the end of the 1970s, making it much cheaper. So many people, particularly in Britain, didn't really go on holiday abroad. They were typically going to coastal countries or coastal counties in the United Kingdom. And so the idea that you could go to Spain or you could go to France or even somewhere further afield, was actually not really something that people would have done. And of course, during the 1980s, it did change dramatically. I must admit that the idea of being able to see a sun-drenched beach, which is not something you always get at Great Yarmouth, somewhere in contrast like the Bahamas, maybe, was actually quite an appeal. So it's aspirational. So, did you ever feel, Mr. Pete, about sort of getting out your, Hawaiian shirt and your
No, I have to say it's
flamboyant
interesting that
shorts?
the show that she presented, it was a well presented show, as we've been saying, but it didn't for me maybe actually want to go to the places. I
Ah,
thought that was
really?
interesting. I didn't actually want to go there. A package holiday in which someone's decide you get a beach and a hotel and all the things to sort of put together, and then there's lots of other people going to the same place. It's sort of like not so much like a holiday, but for Mr. Pete, more like hell, a trip to hell. So I certainly wouldn't want to go on one of those. But it still was watchable television, and I suppose with her career lasting so long, she obviously had a skill in making things accessible to people and keeping them entertaining and light. Because was it 60 years she was in
Oh,
broadcasting?
yes, 60 years
That's a long time.
broadcasting,
So
yes, and many
yeah, so
adventures, yes.
so with her death, we're losing someone who made a great contribution to broadcasting, and as you were saying earlier, made changes both with her regional accent and with the style of the show. So many shows these days, if you think about it, they go um, and show you, say, if it's travel, they go and show you exactly what's going on. They go there and actually take part and wear clothing associated with holidaying and look like they're enjoying it. And so many different, in the current era, different YouTube videos and other video sharing platforms are available, of course. Go and experience different countries around the world, all really borrowing their style and that particular concept from the changes in the holiday program that Judith Chalmers brought.
Well, yes, and now when I sort of bring it up to date, it's interesting because maybe I'm sort of looking through rose-tinted glasses when I think about what Judith did through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But when I look at travel today, it is fraught with challenges. There's the cost, there are visa issues, there's war issues. Now, some people would say, yes, but Mark, this has happened for many, many years. But Mr. Pete, it seems as though maybe travel has lost its allure. What say you about that?
Yes, I think there is something about the world today which is just scary. I agree that this. Yeah, I can't point to any statistics that show this, but there's a feeling around. Let's put it like that. There's something in the atmosphere which says people you'd be better off staying at home. There's a feeling of danger even in places that aren't particularly dangerous, and we want to try and enjoy ourselves at home and not go away and take the risk. I don't know if that's actually playing out, but you're right that is sort of a feeling that's out there, a change in attitude. We don't really trust foreign places. I mean, partly because they're full of foreigners, and you don't know you don't know what they're going to get up to. And
Well,
sadly, there are certain incidents, violent incidents that support that idea.
Yes. Well, it seems, listener, that Mr. Pete is probably going to exchange his sun cream for salad cream and stay at home. But I'll leave you with this thought from the family of Judith Chalmers, and they mentioned in the media recently, we will miss her greatly, but she leaves behind a giant suitcase of the happiest of memories.
Amen.